Welcome back, eSIM Studios. We have a bit of troubling news for iPhone users and or Apple. Now look, on this channel, I don't do a lot of Apple stuff, right? I've used Android my whole life, and I prefer Android over iOS. As well, my wife and my daughter have used Android our whole lives. So we're not big Apple fans in our household. Now, let me preface this by saying I have used iPhone and iOS for my previous job. For 3 years, I had to use a work phone, which was an iPhone, and then I had my personal phone, which was my Android phone. But let's swipe all that away. The big major issue for Apple with this iPhone 15, and this is going to be a huge, this is huge. I believe this is going to be a huge story for the whole next year. Apple's new iPhone 15 has a major overheating problem. Major overheating problem. Now, there was a story, and this is why it scored so low on the Geekbench scores. Now, when I say so low, they were expected to blow the freaking roof off of Geekbench 6. And this explains why when the leaked Geekbench scores of the new upcoming Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, when I heard that the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 beat the new Apple Bionic A17 chip, I was like, I believe it beat them in multi-score, or it beat them in GPU performance. It beat them in a category, and I said, there's no way. Like, there's got to be a misprint. So I did another search. Sure enough, another publication reported Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 beat the new upcoming Apple A17 Bionic chip. So I was like, holy shit, I could not believe it. This explains why. This article explains exactly why. Let's get into the details, because this is going to be a major issue for Apple here in just a moment. Now, I'm going to read you just a paragraph or two, because there's so many numbers. Usually what I do is I study the information, I memorize it, and then I create videos off of my memorization. Like 95% accurate. There may be one out of every 10 videos where I get a piece of information incorrect, but when it comes to this stuff, I have a pretty good memory. But there's a lot of information here. Won't take but 30 seconds. But what the issue is under high load, which is why it scored so low, or did not achieve a high level as they expected on the Geekbench score, because Geekbench throws a ton of runs it through a number of graphic intensive tests on the device. This new Apple A17 Bionic chip, under heavy loads, under heavy stress, overheats. The thermal throttling kicks in and bumps down the performance of the CPU to keep the temperatures cooler. Because if it keeps on running at max load, it's going to overheat, and it's going to basically, obviously drop performance. So Apple drops it for it. Now, the new Apple A17 Bionic chip only comes on the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. The regular iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus have last year's A16 Bionic chip. So this new chip has major issues, okay? Watch this, or listen to this. The title, and I'll link this in the description so you can look at all this stuff that I'm reporting on as well. I'll link this article in the description box, but check this out. The title of the article says, iPhone 15 Pro Max suffers from severe thermal throttling. A17 Pro only achieves a high single multi-core scores using external cooler. So the tester had to hook up an external cooler to this iPhone 15 Pro Max just to achieve the optimal performance of this chip. How many people that buy an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max are going to have an external cooler for a phone? Nobody's gonna. I mean, I probably would if I was an iPhone user, but that's just because I like cool stuff like that. But it's still a hassle, right? You have to chug it along. If you go on a car trip, or bus ride, or subway, wherever, right? If you're a gamer, if you play games, this is going to be a major issue. Regular tasks on your phone, call, text, a couple apps here and there, doing regular day-to-day stuff, emails, not going to make a difference. But the people that are going to use this phone for heavy video editing, photo editing, creating videos, using software like Canva, which uses a ton of RAM, games, it's gonna throttle the CPU, which is gonna slug down the performance of the CPU so it won't overheat. Now, I read you the title. Now it says the A17, which is their newest and latest and greatest chip, CPU. The A17 Pro was taken through its paces in a recent benchmark and only obtained a mere single-digit gain against the A16 Bionic, which is last year's CPU, in Geekbench 6 multi-core run. The reasons for this low score is quite simple. According to the latest findings, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, featuring Apple's latest chipset, is unable to keep low temperatures under heavy load and longer periods of time, resulting in thermal throttling, and requires a beefy cooling system solution, which is external, to get high single-threaded and multi-threaded results. The A17 Pro's 3nm architecture offers no benefits in keeping temperatures low, according to the testing methodology of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. In a updated Geekbench 6 score, the iPhone 15 Pro Max with the A17 Pro got an impressive result of 2,999 points. So 2,999, pretty impressive for a single score, and a 7,779 points in the multi-core score. Pretty good. These results represent a 20% increase compared to the A16 Bionic, which led us to believe that Geekbench application might have been a bit buggy during the time of the first benchmark run. So they're saying Apple reported when they were talking about this new A17 chip, said it's supposed to have like massive increases in performance. And the person who wrote this article, when they tested the iPhone 15 Pro Max, was like only a 20% jump. Apple was saying it was supposed to get double that performance. So they thought maybe something was wrong with the app, not with the phone. However, extensive testing done by the publisher revealed that the 6.7-inch flagship iPhone 15 Pro Max suffers from severe thermal throttling issues and requires an external cooling system solution with a dedicated fan to perform at its best. These results also reveal that the A17 Pro's next generation 3nm architecture does little to alleviate the overheating problems, which can mean one of two things or both. Either Apple did not give its iPhone 15 Pro Max a robust cooling solution, or TSMC's 3nm manufacturing process was greatly exaggerated to bring in unparalleled power efficiency improvements. Regardless, Apple's top-tier handset has surfaced temperatures of 48 degrees Celsius when running a benchmark. 48 degrees Celsius. I did a conversion when I saw this article. So they're saying without the cooler, running a Geekbench test, the phone reaches a temperature of 48 degrees Celsius. That's about 122 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot enough to make you put down the phone. 122 degrees. That's pretty freaking hot. yeah, that's hot enough for you to be like, damn, this phone's getting hot, something's going on, let me put this down. Apple, it says Apple does market A17 a pro gaming powerhouse. Hang on, guys. All right, I apologize about that. I had to pause the video, but so let's see. I believe that's all the main important stuff. I don't want to lead y'all on and read the whole article, but I did remember those are the main. Okay, wait. It says Apple does market its A17 Pro, their CPU that's in the new iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, as a gaming powerhouse with support for hardware accelerated ray tracing that is 4 times faster than the A16 Bionic. But that 400% improvement will be of little use when the chipset's temperatures cannot be tamed. We did find evidence that the A17 Pro CPU is just a rebagged version of the A16 Bionic. With a slightly varying code name, suggesting that the latest SoC is just an optimized version of its predecessor. So that's interesting. They're saying that actually the A17 Pro CPU is not an all-new redesigned CPU, that it's basically a revamped version of the A16, which makes me wonder now. They said the A17 Pro is 3 nanometer architecture. Is the A16 is the Apple A16 CPU? What architecture is that on? I thought it was a 4 nanometer. Let me see. A16. Let me Google Apple A what do they call it? Apple. See, I'm not an Apple user. Bionic A16 nanometer. Let's see what it says. It says Apple's ARM-based chip. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, see, it says the A16 Bionic is a 4 nanometer architecture chip. So this new one is a nanometer, means basically it's a meters, right? So that's a length, distance measurement. So a 4 nanometer, and you go down to a 3 nanometer. So I think I know why it's overheating now that they mentioned that, because if it's basically the same chip, moving from that's just revamped, but moving from a 4 nanometer in the A16, moving to a 3 nanometer in the A17 means they reduced the size. Now, typically they reduced the size by 20%, or excuse me, 25%. Now, the actual physical size of it reduced by 25%. Now, usually every year they go down a nanometer as far as the chip size. Like every year the Qualcomm puts out a chip. It's like 7 nanometer, 6 nanometer, 5 nanometer, 4. So every year it goes down one by one. Every year, same thing with Apple. TSMC produces that chip. Now, manufactures that chip. Now, what I am thinking is that if they didn't do much to... Now, why I mentioned that, I'm sorry I'm jumping around. The reason why I mentioned it getting smaller and smaller, as you typically get smaller and smaller, they always say the efficiency got better, the power got better, and the efficiency got better. What does the efficiency mean? How fast it can run at cooler temperatures. It looks like this one, it did not get more efficient. It looks like they reduced the size, and if they did not put any better thermals or cooling system, it looks like on this chip, it's producing more power, but got smaller, making for less heat dissipation. And it's generating more heat and causing everything to heat up and shut down. So, look, this is an early report. I'm sure there's going to be people digging into this. I can only dig into so much because I just get the info. I don't actually have the chips or have the schematics or can't look at stuff. I guess I technically I could, but whatever. But this is a major issue. Now, getting away from the technology side, this will be a major issue for Apple. Did they not do enough testing? Because if that to be the case, they could put some cooling pipes like OnePlus did, I mentioned, with the new Google Tensor chip. It's interesting because as we get further and further into this mobile tech, overheating becomes an issue. Now, I never had any overheating issues with my Samsung phones. Google, that's why I got rid of my Pixel 7, because I couldn't shoot videos on it anymore. It got so bad to the point where it was overheating so much that I couldn't even shoot a video. And when the Pixel 8 comes out in about 10 days, it's the very first thing I'm going to test is the overheating. Did they fix the overheating issue? Now, as you know, iOS 17 has come out, and there's a ton of people on Reddit that are complaining about their iPhones overheating. Well, apparently iOS 17 is causing, not only with this new iPhone 15 that's released with iOS 17, but when you update your older iPhones, iPhone 14, 13, 12, 11, even the X models, I know somebody personally that was streaming with me on their phone, and they just lost connection, and I found out like 30 minutes later. I thought their phone powered off, and it did power off, but it wasn't because it didn't have a battery. It powered off because it overheated, because they updated iOS 17. So this is going to be a major issue. I can't stress enough how I believe this is going to be a major issue with Apple. I think this is going to lead headlines. Look, our iPhone 15 that we're getting in is not the Pro or the Pro Max, so it's going to have the better A16 chip. However, as time goes on, you're going to want to watch for news headlines that's gonna mention the new iPhone 15's overheating, and when they do say that, it's going to be due to the Pro and Pro Max version, not the 15 or the 15 Plus. So keep an eye on this if you are an iPhone buyer. Now you're going to start hearing all these come out this weekend. Apple is very hard locked, and they very locked down these devices, because we pre-ordered our iPhone 15 mad early. I think the first day you could pre-order them, and we're just going to use it for the channel and stuff, but they're not shipping. We just shipped, and today's Thursday. Now, Friday, tomorrow, the 22nd, I believe, is the official day you can go into a T-Mobile, at&t, or even an Apple store and physically go buy an iPhone 15. We purchased ours last week online, and Apple, it's not scheduled to deliver until Friday the 22nd, the release date. If you buy a Pixel, whether it be from carriers or Google's website, if you buy a Samsung, whether it be from T-Mobile or Samsung's website, they always come early. I got my S23 Ultra like a week early, before they were even supposed to be released to the public. And same thing with our Pixels. We ordered 3 of them last year, and bam, all 3 of them came about 4 days after we ordered it. So Apple's very hard locked. No retail person that purchased them with their own money has gotten them. All the ones you see on YouTube are from people that are reviewers that got lucky enough to be selected. But that's why. Sorry, I got a brain fart. But you will start seeing people come. I guarantee you're going to see people, because people are going to want to game on them. It's going to overheat when they do 4K video. It's going to overheat when they do big file transfers and video editing and gaming. You're going to see in about it comes out tomorrow. People are going to start noticing the overheating, and probably in the next few days, and then they'll start making videos. So here within about the next week, watch. You're going to see a ton of videos coming out saying, oh, my new iPhone's overheating, my new iPhone's shut down, not gonna be able to play games, blah 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 blah, and it's gonna be because of this. You heard it here first. eSIM Studios only brings you the biggest and the best stories in the mobile technology world. We buy Samsungs. I just got a S23 in. I bought this S23, the small one. Today it came in, that I'm reviewing and keeping for the channel, because normally I record on this sucker, the big boy. But I wanted to try a Samsung smaller phone, so flagship. So I got that in for testing and case reviews and stuff for the channel. The new S24 is coming out in 5 months. We're going to be buying one of those. The Pixel 8 series is coming out in about a week or 10 days. We're buying those. We just got an iPhone. We bought an iPhone 15 for the channel to test and to just do case reviews, test and compare. And we bought the Nothing Phone 2 to test and compare. We bring you news, we bring you case reviews, we bring you comparisons, all sorts of cool stuff. eSIM Studios, that's what we're here for. Sometimes I just blabble on and I have to stop myself, but this is a big story and I could not wait to record. We do have some updates as far as recording. We are getting I guess you could say, studio. We plan on putting a tough shed in our backyard at our home and then converting that tough shed into a recording studio. Not singing. Y'all definitely don't want to hear my voice because it is very bad. No. I'm not recording a new album. I'm going to be recording videos for this channel, video for all my other channels. I have like 6 YouTube channels. Now, a lot of y'all don't know that, and I don't really, announce or promote my other YouTube channels because they're not in regards to the technology field. Each channel is specific to its own topic, and I'm trying to grow the fan base in regards to that specific channel. I don't want to be like, oh, go over here, go over here, go over here. If y'all are interested in mobile technology, then this is what I'm going to give you. And like with my other YouTube channels, if that's what the viewers are interested in, that's what I'm going to give them. So I don't do a lot of cross promotion. I try to grow them all organically, all independently of each other. That's what makes the best channels. So this is the best mobile technology channel, or one of the best. I'm not going to say I'm the best, but we're one of the best with the news, with the reviews, case reviews, latest breaking news. You know what's interesting? Real quick, I promise I'm going to get off. You know what's interesting? I'll see a YouTube. I know some of y'all in the industry are watching this channel because it caught my attention. There's like when I'm scrolling on YouTube and I see stories or videos, literally, watch. When I put this out, you're going to see more overheating stuff. Now, I'm not saying because of our videos. People are out here with overheating iPhones. But I'm just saying, I'll have like a niche topic or a niche video topic. And in the next day or two, I'll see like 2 or 3 more videos or articles specifically on that topic. And they're not big news, but it's very, Anyways, maybe I'm just blowing up my own head. I don't know. But it seems like whatever I put out in the next day or two, maybe I put myself in that algorithm. I don't know. All I know is I'm trying to put together good content for y'all. But what I want to do is get out of the car and actually have more of a studio ambiance or experience. It looks more professional. It looks nicer, neater. I'll have a professional, I've actually recorded some of those on this channel with a professional mic and a backdrop setting and stuff like that, but we're actually going to build a professional recording studio in our backyard so we can take this to the next level and all my other channels to the next level. So I'm going to do live streaming. I'm trying to do more of that live streaming on this channel. I want to do I got a lot of stuff in the works, so pay attention. We do have memberships. I want to record live streams maybe every day on a specific day at a specific time. News, industry news, I want to do interviews. That's one thing I want to do is interviews. Interview people and what's their daily tech like. What phone do you use? Why did you choose that phone? What apps? What are some of your favorite apps? What devices have you had in the past? Have you always had an iPhone? Have you ever tried Android? You got tablets, like, just stuff that's tech stuff that people like you and I, get into. But I made it back, so I'm going to get off the phone here and we'll upload this. And please subscribe to the channel. I know there's going to be some iPhone users that are going to be new viewing this channel for the first time. So I want to welcome you. This is eSIM Studios. We are one of the best technology channels on YouTube, mobile technology channels on YouTube. Again, we do reviews, case reviews, app reviews, phone reviews, phone comparisons. Like I said, starting to do interviews, tech news, all sorts of stuff. So if it involves mobile technology, it involves eSIM Studios. So take care. I appreciate the time, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.